Wow, look how good my teeth look. This is the kind of outcome I was looking for. Straight, no overlapping front teeth anymore, like I used to have. This is the outcome I wanted, and just like my t-shirt says, smile. Can smile with confidence now that my Invisalign treatment is over and it worked so good. So let's sit down and have a little chat about my overall Invisalign experience. So today's video is all about the end of my Invisalign treatment that I received. It started back in May of 2016. I actually was completed around July. It's a little bit over a 12-month process, which I thought was fantastic. So I'm gonna kind of just take y'all a little bit briefly through Invisalign start to finish, answer a couple questions that I figured people would want to know, things that I wanted to know when I decided to go the Invisalign route to fix my teeth. And if you haven't seen my first video, I will definitely put a link to the first video below so that you can watch that if you haven't seen it. It might answer some questions. It was literally just kind of like the first time that I went to Gray Orthodontics, who is my orthodontist, which I'm actually wearing the t-shirt right now. I then did some multiple blog posts kind of chronicling my journey through the treatment, and I will also put links to those in the notes below if you just want to go check out those blog posts. Obviously you can see how it ended up. My teeth look great. They're so straight, which is exactly what I wanted. I chose Invisalign because I had braces as a teenager, like most people do. And then after my teenage years, I got lazy and did not wear my retainers as the years progressed and didn't think that it would affect my teeth. But of course they started shifting and moving as I got into be an adult. They weren't really crazy bad. I will pop up a picture somehow and show y'all what they look like beforehand. I'm sure a lot of people will be like, they are not that bad. Like, who cares? It was just a little bit of overlapping. But for me personally, it drove me bananas to have those front teeth starting to overlap each other. But it was because I didn't wear my retainers after braces as a young girl. It just got to the point, especially with blogging and being on my YouTube channel and Instagram and all the pictures that I take, it eventually did start to really bug me when I took pictures of my face, because I'm a beauty blogger, and so everything is kind of like all about here. And I love teeth. Like, teeth is just one of my things. Like, I want them to be white, I want them to be straight, I love to smile, I like to talk. So a lot of the focus is right here, and I just really wanted to get my teeth fixed. So Invisalign seemed like a really smart choice, because after doing a lot of research, I don't know if it was necessarily going to be like a quicker solution for me, but I just thought it was going to be more appropriate for my lifestyle, because Invisalign is clear aligners. So really, when they were popped in, you couldn't really tell that I had anything, you know, any sort of treatment going on with my teeth, and I like that. Whereas with braces, most of the time, they're pretty obvious, and you know, I just didn't want that for me. I wanted something that was pretty much invisible, hence the word Invisalign. Another question that I have been asked before is, what makes somebody a good candidate for Invisalign? Of course, I'm no orthodontist, but one thing my orthodontist did tell me was he thought that I would be a good candidate for this because A, I'm an adult, not a teenager, and with Invisalign, really, you just have to be super on it and really just kind of take accountability and be responsible for having your trays in the 22 hours a day that they recommend. So you're pretty happy with how this turned out?
I'm very happy with the way Invisalign turned out for you.
I am too.
She was a very compliant patient. That's what it takes to get a good result with Invisalign. That's our biggest battle with Invisalign, is compliance.
Well, that was one of the first things he told me about the visit. He was like, your teeth are only going to be as straight as quickly as if you actually do what I tell you to, and you keep your trays in like 22 hours a day, I think.
21, 22 hours a day is pretty much ideal.
Dr. Gray said a lot of times they don't put teenagers in it because you just don't know that they're going to be responsible enough to wear the trays 22 hours a day. And maybe there's some adults that wouldn't be as good at it. But I think that he knew and I knew that, hey, if I'm gonna get this treatment and it's gonna be successful, I'm gonna wear my trays all the time whenever I'm supposed to. And also my overlapping of my teeth was not super severe. So I think if it had been, maybe braces would have been the way to go. But since it was a little bit more cosmetic and, you know, really it was just more aesthetic that I wanted them fixed, I think the Invisalign was just like a good, easy route to go. How long did it take? So like I mentioned before, I first started in May, and then my last appointment with the doctor before I got my retainers was in July. So it took around about 13 to 14 months for it to be completed, which is about what he thought it would be for them to get where they needed to be. So in the grand scheme of things, that time frame went by really, really quickly, but it seemed like I was not doing Invisalign for very long, and the process was really, really easy. And pros and cons, and does it hurt? A lot of people said, does it hurt? And I would say, for me, no, hurt is not a word that I would use to describe what I went through with Invisalign, because let's face it, I'm a mom with 3 kids. I've been through childbirth. No, it did not hurt at all compared to that. It was more of like a walk in the park. Is it uncomfortable when you switch out your trays every time? Yeah, it's a little, you know, it's pressure. Like, these trays are made to be smaller and make your teeth shift. So yeah, it's not gonna be like a day at the spa, but it definitely doesn't hurt by any means. The only real con I would say about Invisalign is, and you could actually flip this into a pro, but is how much you actually have to brush and floss your teeth. But with Invisalign, you have to brush and floss your teeth because those aligners are covering your entire tooth, your entire mouth. So, you know, bacteria and food just get stuck in there, and you just wanna make sure that you clean it out. Every time you take out your aligners, you definitely wanna brush them out and brush your teeth, and, you know, get all the food out of your teeth before you pop them back in, because think about it, if you don't floss, and you've eaten your meal and then you put your aligners back in, then all that food's getting trapped and it's just getting stuck in your teeth, and that's just kind of gross, because it just makes you work harder at getting cleaner teeth. Pro is that you can't really tell that you're wearing them. Most people really didn't know that I was wearing them. Now, my husband and my kids did right in the beginning. It did kind of affect my speech a little bit. I talked like I had a little bit of a lisp, but that's really the only thing that so far is super different of not even having trays at all, is that I feel like I'm talking funny. So I think that's a win-win. To get straight teeth, I'm game. Once I wore them for a couple months, I totally got used to it and was able to talk a little bit more clear. So that would be kind of a con if it messes up your speech, but then you can turn that into a pro, and it gets better as time progresses. All of the in-between visits were very, very easy and simple, like literally in and out. He checked them, gave me my new trays. He would give me a couple sets at a time that I would switch out at home every 2 weeks. And then when I would show up, he would just kind of look at them, see what's going on. I think it did go back for one refinement where they kind of switch where they put your attachments, which are the little things they put on your teeth that the Invisalign tray clicks into. And so they did refine that a little bit, which took a little bit longer on one of the appointments, but overall, super simple, super easy. In terms of keeping up with my appointments. One con is you do have to be really super responsible and remember where you put your trays down. I have my handy dandy cases. Well, I just don't leave my trays out to where my dog chews them up. That's the only thing I'm like terrified of. Because there was one incident where I actually left my trays not in their little cases that you're given to put them in, but I actually took them out in the kitchen because I was hungry and I needed a snack, and I put the tray on the countertop, and then I guess I went to clean the countertop and swiped it off and had no idea, didn't realize that I had forgotten they were on there, and then I couldn't find them a couple minutes later after I had done that, and I was like, oh, I'm done eating, I need to put trays back in, couldn't find them, where'd they go? Finally found them upstairs, halfway chewed up because my dog Taco got a hold of them and decided that they would be a lovely chew toy for him. So that's kind of a bummer. You do have to keep up with them. I did end up keeping one of the little tray holders in my bathroom and then kept one in my purse so that whenever I would pop them out to eat, I would always have somewhere to put them and not just on the kitchen counter like I did the first time. But yeah, with the trays, you gotta keep your eye on those things and make sure your dog doesn't get a hold of them. So let's talk about my last appointment before I got my retainers and what they did. So once I went in to the doctor to kind of see if I was ready to be done with my Invisalign treatment, and he decided, yes, your teeth look great. Let's go ahead and take those attachments off, which were the little ball-like things that I don't even know what it is. It could be, is Is it cement? I have no idea, I should have asked. But the attachments are the little things that they put on the sides of your teeth sporadically around your mouth and that the trays click into. And so he definitely, I got there and he just took those off, just kind of shaved them off with a little bitty tool that sounds terrible, but it's not terrible at all. You can't even feel it. So he took those off, and then they made new molds of my final outcome of my teeth with the pink goopy stuff, which they didn't have to do for the Invisalign trays themselves. They just have to use the pink goopy stuff for your retainers that you have to wear afterward. It's part of your aftercare, which are these. And the pink goopy stuff, you know, if you've not ever had braces, which when I had braces, I had to use that stuff too. It's pretty gross. I'm not gonna lie, how it just, they have to shove that in your mouth to make your trays and your impressions, but it doesn't take very long. I have to wear these little things for the rest of my life if I don't want my teeth to shift back, which I learned my lesson once as a teenager when they shifted, and it made me have to do something all over again to get my teeth back straight. I will now be wearing these retainers all the time. I have one on top, and I have one for the bottom, and it makes me look like I am 14 again. And I'm 39. But anyway, I only have to wear these at night, but you do have to wear those if you want to keep up with your treatment. So one of the biggest game changers that happened during my next to last appointment was when he did something that was called cosmetic contouring. I had the overlapped teeth in the front, but one of the teeth was actually longer than the other, and so he actually shaved the underneath part of my teeth to make them all kind of line up and look similar. I kind of compare it to, you know, when you contour your cheekbones or your nose to try to give it some definition and nice shape. He basically did that with my teeth, and that was kind of like, once he did that, he took off the aligners and everything, and then he contoured my teeth and then showed me the mirror. I was just kind of like, whoa, like, that is a game changer, and those look great. So that just kind of like brought everything home, and I just, once he showed me that, I was like so happy with how my teeth ended up looking. So really, after that, I mean, once you get your retainers made and they come in, which I think it took maybe a week for my retainers to come in, I just went back to the office and picked them up. You just wear those every night for the rest of your life. And you don't have to wear anything else during the day, and your teeth stay nice and straight, and you've got the outcome that hopefully you had been wanting when you get your Invisalign treatment. So I want to thank my orthodontist, Gray Orthodontics. They actually have 2 locations in Monroe and in Snellville. And so I kind of went in between the 2 offices depending on what needed to be done with my treatment. But they were wonderful, the staff was wonderful, everyone was so kind and friendly. You get to see the same people if you go to Monroe or Snellville, which is awesome. So you have familiar faces. So I like that. It makes it very comfortable. The people in the orthodontist office at Gray Orthodontics definitely made it a lot easier and more enjoyable every time I went in. And so it was just a really great overall experience. And I got a really great t-shirt in it. See? Smile. And like I have always read on Pinterest the quotes about smiling, that a smile is the best makeup a girl can wear. I think Marilyn Monroe said that, and I would have to agree. I love smiling. I love it when my kids smile. I love it when other people smile. So if you have any questions or comments about Invisalign that you want to ask me, feel free to put them in the comments below. I would love to answer anything. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks again to Gray Orthodontics for my nice new straight smile, and I will see y'all on the next video. Bye y'all.